So good evening, you wonderful people. It's Monday evening. It is now 9:04 on the 7th of December 2020. We're live until 10 p.m. tonight. It's the That's on This TV Monday night live session. It's one of, how many have we got left now? We've got 3 or something after this. So we're in the final 4, right? We've got loads to discuss tonight, lots of stuff to sort of keep you still pumped up for the end of the year. Don't want anybody sort of just sort of getting complacent now and slacking off. There's still an awful lot of stuff going on in the acting industry, a lot of prep you guys can be making for 2021. Last week we covered goal setting in depth. How was that for everybody? Let me know in the comments how that was for you. Did you download your goal setting ebook for free? Did you go through it? Did you go for a walk? Did you get inspired? Did you set your 7 to 10 goals? If you haven't yet, don't worry, there's still time. But that's something that I think everybody should be doing. And I'm going to do, you know what? Hold my hands up. I've not done it properly yet. I'm going to do that. I like to do it sort of I finish all of the That's on This sort of main content for members around about the 22nd, 23rd of December. I'm having a few days off, guys. You'll have to let me off, right? I'm not putting any content on over the 24th, 25th, and 26th of Christmas of December. So I'm gonna sort of sit down and spend some time then really getting clear on what I want from 2021. But if you haven't got your goal setting book yet, do go and claim it. It's completely free. There's no strings attached to this. I just created a PDF document of really how to set strategic goals in and out of your acting career, like in your life, whether it's your physicality you want to change next year, a business you want to create, any sort of any goal in any part of your life. Go to actonthis.tv/goals. And just pop your first name and your email address in, and it'll send it you within 5 minutes, and you just download it. But honestly, there's no there's no upsell there. It's just here's a real book on how to set goals. Not big. I think it's about 10 pages, 11 pages. But you should read it. It will definitely have an impact on you. Honestly, it changed my life, that method of goal setting in 2014. That's why I was compelled to put it in a PDF and give it out, because I thought it can really have a big impact. Look at all these people in here too busy to be setting goals, can be doing me self-tapes. Boom. Well, you know what, Sharon? If you're too busy doing self-tapes to set your goals, you've done something right already. Definitely. Ethan, yes. So Ethan, that was a session we covered last week on this Monday Night Live. But if you go to actonthis.tv/goals, you can get that. If you want as well, you know what I mean? If people really want to dive in deep, I couldn't do it for free because I'm going to have to put some time into it. But if you really wanted... I don't know, it wouldn't be many. We'd have 25 people on a call. If you really wanted to do a 3-hour proper workshop on, where I make you set your goals on the call, and we actually kind of go around the group and talk about it. I could even kind of host that if people. I don't know how many people would be interested in that. It wouldn't be super expensive, but I wouldn't want to just do it as a kind of, I don't know, not a structured thing. I would put sheets together for people to fill in and stuff like that, and we'd do it properly. That book will help you out a lot, but if you wanted, if you really wanted someone to hold your hand, I might even do that over in between Christmas and New Year, just because I'll be doing it at that time myself. So let me know if that would be of any interest to anybody. We'd figure that out. So tonight we've got quite a bit to talk about. I want to recap on what's happened on actonthis.tv for premium members over the last week. We hold a mastermind session every week, guys. If you're not a member and you don't know what this community is, stay tuned. I'm going to show you behind the scenes of what we do every single week. But we held a session last week with an incredible actress and just such a freaking lovely person, Sammy Winward. You'll know her actually. You'll recognise her straight away from the 14 years she spent as Katie Sugden in Emmerdale. She left that show in 2015, 2016, has since gone on to star in shows like ITV's Prey, opposite Philip Glenister, ITV's Fearless, opposite people like Helen McCrory, some really big stuff, and he's now doing a show early next year that will be out next year that's sort of behind closed doors, but you will see it back on your screens in 2021. And we just had a really lovely chat about the industry, about what life was like, in serial drama when she was in Emmerdale for all those years, the mindset required to go, right, that's it, I'm going to leave such security behind me, because there'll be loads of people in this chat now who that will be a dream. Give me some yeses or some emojis in the chat, some hearts or something, if your dream as an actor would be, I want to play a regular in serial drama. That is my thing. Maybe that's Coronation Street, Emmerdale, EastEnders, Hollyoaks, Holby, Doctors, Casualty, any of those serial dramas. It might be your thing. And then when you get it, you're like, right, how long are you going to do it for? And Sammy did it for 14 years before she was like, right, I'm out now. They killed her character off when she said she wanted to leave, and then was back in the world of big bad auditions, just like all us guys, you know, as a jobbing actor. So it's a fascinating chat. We covered loads. I can see people in the chat now saying how lovely Sammy was. She's honestly just so, it was just a really, really lovely chat about the industry, really, and, you know, quite inspiring. You know, quite motivating, really. So I've got a few clips of that I'm going to play. If you do want to get access to the whole thing, this is actonthis.tv. This is the main website that this whole community is built around. It's been around for 11 years. If you've not seen it yet, where have you been? But if you go to the preview section at the top here, even if you've not got a membership to the site, you can watch previews of all of the features we've done recently. Every week we have, like, you know, top actor, top casting director, top agent, a top writer, a top producer, you know, loads of amazing people. There's Mandip Gill from Doctor Who. We get directors on. Speaking of Emmerdale, there's Ruth Carney, incredible Emmerdale director, that directs Casualty as well. But real top people, ultimately the people who run the industry. So if you want to find out, you know, how the industry really works, how the business of the business really works, and how you turn your talent and your acting ability into paid acting work, come and get involved. I'll play a little clip from Sammy. I've got 3 clips here. Do you know what? The first one I've chosen because I've seen a lot of people in the Facebook group today, and I've seen, you know, many people have messaged me today, actually. Caitlin, congrats. I know we can't talk about it, but Caitlin is self-taping for something right now. I think, who was it else who messaged me before? Sam, in our community, who's self-taping for something literally right now as well. There's a lot of auditions still happening. These are for TV shows, you know. These are for decent projects. And a lot of actors self-sabotage when they get a self-tape dropped on them, or even just a regular audition dropped on them when they're not, like, you know, they don't have days and days and days to prepare. You know, we are in December now. Stuff is still happening, but there is more of a deadline feel to it right now because it's like in a couple of weeks, things are going to be winding down for a few days for Christmas. And I think, you know, turnaround times are quite tight at the minute. And a lot of people sort of just completely get in their own way by focusing on the situation that they're in, as opposed to, you know, how they can respond to it. And you have a choice of how you respond to anything in life. You can't often, you know, predict the situations you're going to end up in, but you can choose whether to respond, not react, respond positively or negatively. And part of that response for me, whenever I'm facing adversity, you know, in a situation where there's an audition, you know, involved, is it's realizing that everyone else is in that same boat with you. So every actor who's been given that self-tape today with that tight turnaround of 12 hours, 24 hours, whatever it is, they ain't got any advantage over you, right? The one thing that can give you the edge above all those other people taping is that you don't lose your shit, and you don't just completely start panicking and getting anxious and rushing things. You know, not learning the script properly, not making decisions well, you know, character choices, not reading the script if you get it. A lot of people get given the whole 60-minute episode and they've got one scene in it, so they just read their one scene and that's it. So we talk in this clip about making decisions, basically, and the fact that everybody, you know, in that situation is in the same boat, and never forget that. And you only need to really hold it together to be better than most people who are going to be auditioning, because most people in a high pressure situation lose it. You don't want to be that person. So it's just 2 minutes of what we discussed.
I used to drive myself crazy, questioning constantly in my mind, what do the casting directors want? When you don't know, because you've not been given any information. And my head swirled and swirled and swirled from the minute I got the email until I walked in that room and said it out loud. My head was going on overdrive. So I've recently made the decision to write something down, write whatever, make it up, you know, in terms of the character and the relationship they have with that person, and run with it. Just bloody go for it, because no one else knows, remember. No one else has a clue. No one else usually has been sent the information. So, you know, just make a decision and run with it.
So we're all busking it, really. We're all huffing it.
Yeah, and the thing is, you know what? You might say it. The worst that could happen is this: you go in and you play it in a certain way, and then the casting goes, actually, the character's a bit more this. Can you do it like that? You're like, brilliant, more information. Absolutely, I'll play it like that.
Everybody who's going for that role as at the same time as you is in the same boat. So sometimes where you're like, actually, God, this is ridiculous. They've just given me this. I don't know anything about this. Or, you know, sometimes time constraints on self-tapes. I'm like, what? You know, they need this in like, what, at the end of the day? They've only just given me a 12 o'clock. you got to realize everyone's in the same boat.
Yeah.
So it's actually, you're not, even though you're facing that adversity, so is every single person. So if you can make a decision, like you said, Sammy, if you can commit to something that is a sensible, that's a decent decision to make, it might not be exactly what they're thinking, but you're probably going to do a far better job than the other 3 or 4 people who are up for the role who are just panicking about it.
Because it'll be truthful, won't it?
They're not going to laugh at you for making a certain decision. They're not going to go, oh my God, what they're doing that for? They're not going to do that, unless it's crazy, of course. But they're not going to do that. So just go for it. And at least then you can walk in the audition room with confidence.
Boom. ActOnThis.tv if you want to watch the full 2 hour, I think it's just over 2 hours, about 2 hours and a quarter, chat with Sammy. Brendan gave you a little starring role in that little clip there as well. I think you're here on the live broadcast this evening. So that was a nice little surprise for you. But yeah, that was just something that I just wanted to hit home. If you are auditioning now, tonight, tomorrow, this week, whenever, it doesn't matter, 2021, never forget that. Like, that should give you confidence that if you go into a situation and you're throwing a curveball, that nearly everyone else who's walking into that situation is going to be throwing a curveball as well. So you only need to hit it a little bit further than the other people and you'll get the job. Most people just go to pieces. So, they will do themselves out of the job. You just need to hold it together. Make that decision. Like Sammy says, commit to something, make a decision. As long as it's sensible, it's fine, and you can give the director and the casting director your take, and then if they don't like it, it doesn't matter, they'll just give you some direction, but you don't want to go to pieces completely, so you start forgetting things, and it's like, oh God, I don't know what I'm doing. So it's quite an interesting point, and very topical with so many people messaging me today to say that they're literally self-taping this evening. So that was clip number 1. I'm going to play a couple of clips, actually, of that chat. And then we're going to talk about, we're going to do some Q&A, but I want to go on to talk about voiceover tonight as well, because I held like a session for an agent yesterday, and they brought their actors on, and we were talking about the industry. It's a bit of like a Q&A with them, and so many people were talking about voiceover. Voiceover's been the big thing for me that sort of kept my career afloat over lockdown after lockdown and tier 3 of Manchester. Hopefully, that's another reason I go live on a Monday night at the moment, to keep people company over tier 3. If you're living on your own, you can't see anybody, we'll be your friends for this evening. But yeah, I've had consistent voiceover work. I mean, I've been pretty lucky because I've been a voiceover artist for 15 years now, maybe even more now. It might be 16 years. And it was the thing initially that got me out of my day job to get me into more of acting, in terms of giving me more time to focus on my acting after I left drama school. And to this day, I still do jobs almost every day. Like I literally just tonight had an email from my agent again to say there's a job potentially at 11:30 tomorrow morning. Check your email in the morning. It's going to be a last minute thing, but can you do it? And I've set a studio up in my wardrobe in my bedroom, dead low key, lo-fi, not expensive. Just a couple of £100, guys. Honestly, you don't need the world. You need to know how to do voiceover. That's the key. But you don't need the world of equipment. You don't need all the most expensive stuff to produce really high quality voiceover work. So I'm going to talk about that in a little bit as well, because I've got a treat for all members of ActOnThis.tv tomorrow evening. And you're going to want to be on that call. That's this week's mastermind call for premium members. If you're not a member, you'll see a link at the bottom of your screen now. If you go to actonthis.tv/trial, if you've never had a 7-day trial to the site, you can get one for £1. It means you can join us on that call tomorrow night for £1. I mean, I can't ask, you can't ask for better than that. I can't ask for better than that. You can't ask for better than that either. ActOnThis.tv/trial. Once you click that link, by the way, you'll only have 60 minutes to get your trial. So click it if you want. Go to ActOnThis.tv/trial now if you like. But once you've clicked that link and you've accessed that page, you will have 60 minutes to get your trial, and then you've got 7 days. So don't dilly-dally about. I'm all about fast action and rewarding people who take action, so that's why that's in place. It will take your IP address and it will lock you out of that page if you dally for more than 60 minutes. We're making people get shit done here, guys. Next topic, mental health. Big one, innit? Who's had any sort of I'm very, very lucky, touch wood, never had any sort of massive mental health issues or ongoing stuff. I certainly have days where I feel like shit and I don't want to do anything. But this year, obviously, I've had more of those days probably than any year, to be honest. Been one of those years. Definitely. But who, if you're cool being vulnerable and stuff, like who maybe has had sort of like, you know, more issues than they would normally have, or like who's struggled a little bit this year. I'm super optimistic about 2021. I'm sure most of those struggles you've had will go away when things get a little bit more back to normal. But we talked quite a bit with Sammy on mental health. Zach, I don't know if you're here, mate. I think Zach asked the question, was just a great question, you know, about, you know, whether Sammy's ever, you know, experienced stuff. And, you know, she again was, you know, has been very kind of lucky, has never dealt with anything serious, but obviously has had those days where you have to pick yourself up, you don't want to do anything, and then you've got to go on set of a serial drama, you know, and film 12 scenes. You know, like having a bad day as someone who just, you know, does a 9 to 5 job is bad enough, but having to get on a set and act as a character who might be having the time of their life when you feel like shit inside, it's quite a dichotomy, isn't it? It's quite an interesting kind of conflict. So we talked a little bit about that. I'm going to play you a little clip now, which is really, there's just one not moral, but like one lesson in it, really. But I think it's really, really important, and it's something that in a 2020 world, I think we need to do more. So here's a little clip on mental health.
What has your experience been like in the industry, if or when you've experienced difficulties with mental health?
I think I tend to find mental health wise, I'm okay, I'm fine. But I think just sometimes those chemicals are just slightly off. You know, you have good days and you have bad days, right? I don't have any long-term anything, but I have days when I don't want to speak to anyone. I don't want to see anyone. You know, if I've got to do any work, I'm like, well, there's no point, because you know, you look in the mirror and you hate yourself. I have all those things, of course, but I think, especially work-wise, you know, when you do have a day like that and you do have to go onto set or do something, you just kind of, you can say it to your friends and speak to them. I quite used to like to vocalize it again, just getting it out to someone, not in a big way, but just going, I'm feeling a bit crappy today. Actually, I'm feeling a little bit low. But then when you get onto set, you just paint that smile on. I know that sounds really showbiz, but paint the smile on and get through it. And do you know what? Usually it takes your mind off it.
Write about it, mate, as well. That's
yeah,
what,
I was just gonna say, I've got it says dream big on it. My friend, you can't see it because it's too bright. I've always been a bit of like, oh, I'm not doing a journal, I'm not writing down, I can't be bothered. And then I did it I started a week ago, and it's been the best thing ever. Like when I'm up at 4, at 4:05,
she's written a book by 6.
I just write down my goals, whether it's for the day or for the year or whatever, and it can be anything at all, literally anything. Or write down your thoughts and your feelings if you are feeling particularly crap that day. I've been writing that down as well, and it's literally bullet points. It doesn't have to have a narrative to it at all. But just getting it down so you don't have as much noise in your head, or you know, several things to worry about. You've written those down, those are dealt with now. Okay, those are there. I'll just worry about that one instead, as opposed to, you know, so many of them. But anyway, it has really helped me writing it down.
Boom. So there you go. That's literally just 2 minutes of over a 2-hour conversation. But yeah, it's just one section where we're just talking a little bit about mental health as an actor and keeping it in check. And I think there's just 2 important things that Sammy said there. One is that, you know, talk about it. Ultimately, you know, it doesn't have to be that you're suffering from the most, you know, sort of like horrendous mental health crisis, you know, in the world. I mean, just if you're having a bad day, like generally, if you're just like, I feel a bit shit, I always feel better having acknowledged it. And then, you know, even if I'm having a phone call with someone like, how are you? I go, oh, God, I'm just feeling a bit like crap today or whatever. And then even just sort of acknowledging it and putting it out there makes it kind of easier. A problem shared is a problem halved, isn't it? Just offload onto everyone else. No, don't do that. But yeah, I think talking about it, not in a massive way, is really helpful. And then what Sammy said there about writing stuff down. I've journaled on and off over the years, never consistently. I've never done it for more than like 2 months at a time or something like that, and it's something I want to get better at. But I know when the whole thing comes around goal setting as well. When you write something down, it becomes real, you can process it, you have more clarity on it. Science says that if you write down your goals, you have 42% more chance of hitting them because they become tangible and real. I think also in terms of processing problems and getting through tricky situations or where you can't figure something out or see a way through, I think writing it down almost just as a train of thought sometimes kind of helps. You just spill your brain out onto the page and go, oh, okay, that's sort of out of my head now. I can see it and I can almost look at it a bit more objectively as opposed to it just consuming me. So I think that's pretty interesting. And the comments that people were saying a minute ago were interesting as well about people saying that, lockdown 2, Steve, I think you said has been tough. For you, Caitlin, you said you've struggled a little bit. It's just been a weird year, obviously, with the limbo of out of lockdown, into lockdown, out of lockdown, into lockdown, can see your mates, can't see your mates, can see your family, don't want to kill your family, all that sort of stuff. And I certainly won't be going home for Christmas either. I will not be driving home for Christmas. 1, because I can't drive. 2, because there's no point. There's just absolutely no point whatsoever because I don't want to kill my mom. Not that I've got coronavirus, I don't think, but I would dread to pass anything on if I had it, and it was all a bit mental. So, yeah, it's bound to be people who are struggling a little bit on Christmas Day this year. If you are, talk about it. Write it down, or get on on this Facebook group, and we'll do a Facebook Live, and we'll sort of like keep everyone company or something like that. I don't know. Get on Zoom, talk to people, but I think it's important. And then 2021, I think it's just going to be far, far better, much easier. Definitely. Brenna says, I've treated my individuals' mental health issues, especially during lockdown. It's been tough on so many. I've treated many individuals. So Brenda's a nurse. I've treated many individuals with mental health issues, especially during lockdown. It's been tough on so many. Yeah, I think it is. It's just a bit, a bit more isolating, isn't it? So for me, it's just this really simple things that I miss, like going and having a brew at Costa with someone, not ordering it on my phone, getting my sort of like routine for going to get a coffee from Costa underneath my apartment. It's literally underneath my apartment. Is order it on your phone, get an antibacterial wipe out of the kitchen, put a mask on, run downstairs, go in, pick it up dead quick, come back upstairs, having wiped all the door handles with the antibacterial thing. I even wipe down the cup to give the Costa in. I wash the lid, I take my mask off, I disinfect my keys, and then I drink it through a straw. A metal straw, because I'm good with the environment, and I'm like, right, I'm definitely COVID free. So I look forward to not having to do that in 2021. That'll be it'd be lovely. So that's a little bit of mental health. I think we've got one more clip here, and then we're going to get into voiceover. The last clip that I wanted to play you guys was just some general audition tips, and some of these might sound obvious, right? But I don't think you can ever be told too many times the basics of actually sort of a guaranteeing you're going to have a good audition, or guaranteeing you're going to have a good audition to the point where, like, as guaranteed as it can be, right? You're never going to be able to guarantee, but you can, 95% guarantee you're going to do a good job if you put a few things in place. We talk about a lot of them in depth. Here's a very quick recap, but again, if you've got an audition this week, I just want you to hear this so that you smash it, basically. I want you to finish 2020 strong and then start 2021 stronger. So here's just 2 minutes of tips, and just listen to them. And if you haven't done these, or you're not doing these, when you get a script from a casting director or whatever it is, it needs to be a big audition. It could just be, a casting you see on Facebook or something, a self-tape for a friend. It doesn't really have to be a huge project. But here's just some stuff that I think are pretty non-negotiable for me when I get a script. Then we're going to look at voiceover. How do you get prepared for an audition? How do you make sure that you do a great job?
The first thing is reading through that script over and over, depending on how much time you have. But there could be clues in the script that that help you in regards to your character, that other characters are saying, not necessarily just your scenes that you're doing. So read that script over and over, and obviously it'll give you the vibe of the show. And obviously research as well, like if a show's been done before, watch it. If you're in series 2 of something, watch series 1, or at least watch an episode of it. So again, you get to know, your scene might be with one of the characters that's already been shown in the last series. So again, it gives you a better idea of how to play it. The biggest one for me is learning lines like inside out, to the point where, like, my husband and my daughter they said, oh, here she comes. I'm muttering all day and night, just going, yeah, so anyway, just going over this, just like, oh, Jesus Christ. So all I do is just mutter the lines over and over and over and over. So I learn the lines to myself and then make sure I say them out loud with somebody else. I think saying it out loud to somebody, so the first time you say it out loud isn't in the room. Try and be confident, and I know that's so hard. All the auditions that I've ever got the part for, I've really got on with the director, the producer or casting director, of the writers that, I've had a good chat with them, and that's because I've been relaxed. And I've been able to, show them, one, that I'm personable, I could be good to work with. Obviously do a good reading as well.
Yeah, got to be able to act. Yeah.
Yeah, that helps. Connecting with whoever you're reading with. I think that's really important. Be ready to be flexible. Don't just think it's going to be how you expect it to be. Things could go wrong and things could be completely different as well.
Boom! Just some cracking tips. Some of those would sound so basic and so simple, like, read all of the scripts, don't go into the room and, have your first take of the scene you're auditioning for be the first time you hear the other lines out loud. I used to do that. I said on that call, I would always learn stuff on my own, basically. I'd be sat in my room when I was much younger, I'd be nailing these lines. I was like, right, I've got it. I've absolutely smashed it, no problem. And I'd go to the casting, and then I'd get in there, and I'd never heard someone else say the other lines back to me. So I'd only heard them in my head, and it's such a different experience when you hear someone else say the lines back. It used to throw me completely. So it's like the first take of my auditions, as I first started auditioning in the industry, they were just bad. Whereas if you make sure that you either have someone helping you deliver the lines to you, or you use an app like Line Learner, which I use these days, which is just phenomenal. It's super cheap. It's about £3, I think, for Android or iPhone. And it just means you can record everybody's lines, hear them back, and on the way to the audition, I'll have my headphones in, and I'll literally have the whole scene or scenes on repeat again and again and again and again and again. So I hear those cues and I know exactly what I'm doing, inside out, back of my hand. So lots of other stuff that Sammy mentioned there, quite obvious, but I think, we can never hear them too many times. It's always good to be reminded of those things and go, right, am I implementing these into my process, before I audition or even self-tape? Because the same stuff applies, bar the chat, the pre-chat. You can't, unless unless the director is on Zoom, which we had Louise Keeley on recently, the casting director for Normal People, and lots of other big stuff as well. She hosted a mastermind with us as well, for members of actsonthis.tv, and she was talking about Zoom recalls that are happening now in terms of when you get a recall for an audition, you're still taping yourself with your own equipment, but they will then, the casting director and the director might want to be on Zoom actually directing you. So at that point, where Sammy's talking about the rapport that she builds, with casting directors and writers and stuff, really getting along with people in the pre-chat, having personality, being confident, even if you don't feel it inside, at least outwardly looking confident, it can be the difference between getting the job or not. Definitely. So just a few things to think about. So I hope that's helpful. If you want to, like I say, get access to the full thing, actsonthis.tv. Members, if you're not a member, get a trial for £1, actsonthis.tv/trial. Members, there's loads of members on this call tonight. Go into your members area, click here, click to access. Inside your premium membership, it's the top one, our latest 5 features. Click into it, and you can watch the full video. Or you can listen to the podcast version, which is just the audio. If you want to listen to that whilst you're having a walk, or you're walking the dog, or you're in your home gym. Oh no, some gyms are open now, aren't they? Even though gyms are allowed to open in tier 3, but my gym said they're not going to bother. I'm like, that's no good. Tell you what, that's no good for my mental health. I need to be working out more, because it's too easy to just go 10 more minutes in bed. Then 10 more minutes. There's no gym open. 10 more minutes. So yeah, if you are lucky enough to be able to work out, just listen to the podcast whilst you are on the treadmill. So tomorrow night, okay, our mastermind session for members this week is going to be an absolute freaking cracker, because I'm bringing you potentially not 1, not 2, but 3 voiceover agents. Okay, the voiceover agency that changed my life was the Voiceover Gallery. Massive shout out to Mary Lou Thistleton Smith, who owns the Voiceover Gallery, total legend. She helped me out massively in the early days. Many agents have been through the agency over the last 15 years, but today it's headed up by Katie, Roddy, Jade. Lizzie is a new agent who just started today or yesterday. And we're going to be joined by at least Katie and Roddy, maybe by Jade, who are, I mean, these are just the people who run the entire agency now, tomorrow evening to talk about getting into voiceover and establishing a voiceover career as an actor in 2021, because so many people on this call right now or listening to the replay or watching the replay will have a lot of the prerequisite skills required to be a good voiceover artist, but you're not using them because you don't know how to start and you don't know how to get the other 30% of skills you need in order to actually have a career. So this is what's happening tomorrow evening. And then we're going to just do some Q&A as a bit of a precursor to tomorrow night's chat. So we're not starting completely from scratch tomorrow night. But this is what's going on. You want to be there. Calling all actors looking to work in voiceover, looking to land a voiceover agent. Listen up, because you are not going to want to miss this, right? This is your invite to an incredible actonthis.tv live mastermind session. This time taking place on Tuesday, the 8th of December at 7:30 p.m. with this amazing crew here. The agents from, in my opinion, the best voiceover agency on earth, the Voiceover Gallery. Katie, Roddy, welcome. Thanks so much for doing this. What are we going to be talking about on Tuesday?
So we're going to talk a little bit about the do's and don'ts on your voice reels, what agents love to hear, what agents don't love to hear, how to approach agencies, and yeah, just general Voiceover Gallery fun.
Voiceover Gallery fun. Roddy, what about you?
So I will be here to cover everything that Katie is covering, but also I'm going to be giving you a bit of an overview of how to get into the world of foreign voiceover for those of you that speak another language or come from another country.
Nice, because we've got so many. We've got such diverse, community within the Acts on This community. Diverse people from all around the world. Loads of diversity. But also, we're going to be joined maybe by Jade as well, who is another agent in the office as well. Actors, if you want to get involved with this, you want to literally jump on camera, talk to Katie, talk to Roddy, potentially Jade, me, maybe. Get yourself over to actonthis.tv/live for full details of how you can get involved with this and all future webinars as well. And guys, I ask everyone this question. Little bit of pressure on you now. Why don't they want to miss it?
Probably because it's about an hour and a half after we finish work. We might be a bit drunk. We might even sign you there and then, the lot of you. Who knows?
Nice.
It's probably the best time after work to get some real honesty out of us. And we've had a glass of wine, so don't want to miss it.
Excellent. Come and have a glass of wine. actonthis.tv/live. Got so carried away there, I was nearly too late to turn my camera back on. I was just watching the trailer. They just made me laugh. Katie and Roddy are just amazing people. So is Jade. So sort of fun and just sort of like happy to help. Constantly on the lookout for, sort of new talent, new people. Roddy particularly because he works on the foreign voice side of the Voiceover Gallery. If you are, because I know there's loads of European actors within our community as well and people from just different parts of the world. If you do have another language or your native language is not English, you're not British, there's still so much work over here for you. It's another thing that I think a lot of people don't really sort of understand is, actors who aren't, British, who live in the UK, there's still so much work in voiceover for you, more so than even in the acting industry. And there's still loads in the acting industry. Never think that, you're too niche to work in the UK. There's loads of opportunity. But particularly in voiceover, Roddy heads up the foreign side of the agency that do a lot of dubbing. So a lot of projects, and we're talking big names as well, like international companies, the biggest names you could hear, you could ever imagine. They will do a project often in one language and they want it dubbing into 15 other languages, and that's where you come in as a foreign voiceover artist. There's an awful lot of work. I wish I spoke more languages authentically, but I don't, so I'll just stick with the English stuff. But that's tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. for all members. You are going to get the opportunity to listen and watch the whole chat. Some actors, will get the opportunity to jump on. Obviously, we can't have everybody jumping on camera, but we'll bring as many people on camera as we can to put their personal voiceover career questions to Roddy, to Katie, potentially to Jade if she can make it. And we're just going to go through really sort of like what you need, like a roadmap of going, right, if you are starting from nothing and you don't know how to begin, what do you need? Because there's a lot of actors getting it wrong. To be blunt with you, I hear a lot of bad demos, a lot of just people who, it's kind of, I guess, like not really understanding what casting directors want from you in the TV world and just sending them, completely irrelevant stuff. You want a job on Coronation Street, so you're going to send a piece of theatre to them that you've filmed, or a Shakespearean monologue that you've filmed, or a presenting reel that you film, and go, well, actually, it's not applicable. You're sending all the wrong stuff. And, actors do that. They record stuff that's not voiceover. Voiceover is not radio drama. There's no point in sending Roddy and Katie a radio drama where you're acting in it. That's not voiceover. Voiceover is documentaries, it's corporate work, it's commercials. It's not generally, yes, occasionally it could be like audiobooks, but it's still not really the bread and butter of voiceover. Voiceover is really corporate work, documentary, and commercials. That's what you're getting every single day. So actors just don't seem to know that. Because I guess they've never kind of researched it properly. So we're going to go through all that tomorrow night. I want to know, because I'm going to be doing the presentation tomorrow, what questions do you have now? I can give you, a little bit of insight. But if you tell me what you need, because there's loads of members here, I know loads of you guys are going to be on this tomorrow night. And if you're not a member, come and join again. The trial link is there, actsonthis.tv/trial. Just stop dallying. It's a quid. Go and get it for £1. Try the site out. Let me know what you want me to cover tomorrow night. So let me know in the chat now. Drop some comments in here of what you need out of tomorrow night, and I'll make sure you get it, rather than me telling you what I think you need, which will probably be right, but I want to know it's going to be right. So let me know what you need. Does having a niche voice make you stand out to agents, says Alex? So Alex, yeah, obviously it's been a bit of a theme for you, isn't it? So Alex was born with a rare condition. It's a fantastic story that you've got, Alex, though. Basically, the chances of him actually even surviving this condition were very slim. The doctors worked phenomenal work. I'm guessing Alex saved his life. It's left him with quite a unique voice, but not, I don't think kind of like, it's obviously your thing, Alex. We've all got the thing that we're a bit sort of conscious of sometimes. We all have that thing, don't we? Everyone has it. Don't lie to me if you don't think you've got one. Everyone has it, and but we often make a bigger deal of it ourselves and other people. Without a doubt, I think we see stuff that other people just don't really notice that much. So I don't think your voice is probably quite as niche as you think, Alex. You've got a voice that would lend itself to lots of types of work, mate. There's still going to be a lot of work out there for you. Definitely. One thing you have got, mate, is a really young voice, a really young sounding voice. So there'd be a lot of stuff that you would voice for the teenage market. And there's a shit ton of work, available for that, whether it's educational stuff, loads of stuff like e-learning stuff, GCSE revision, all that kind of stuff. I think younger people would relate to your voice. You'd sound like one of them. And that's what these companies want. They often want the person voicing the thing to sound like the people who are listening to it. So that's why a lot of the time if you're trying to figure out what commercials you would voice as a voiceover artist, they're often the products that you buy and you use, because you are the target audience for those products. So they want the person advertising that product to sound like the people who uses them. So if you use that product, you are probably right for voicing that commercial, because it's something that you are buying. So again, like the acting industry, figuring out your casting type is something actors struggle with, or you know what? I don't even think they struggle with it. I think they just don't. They often want to play against it to prove they can act, because they don't want to play something similar to themselves. They want to go, no, but I'm like that in real life, so I'll play completely against my type. And all you end up doing is confusing casting directors, not doing a particularly good job because you're not that person, and you never work. So voiceover is the same. If you really understand your voice and where you fit in, and you accept it and you embrace it, and you go, right, you know what, the industry is this big. If there's an audio experience, I've got my hands really far apart, and I fit into this part of it, which my fingers are closer together now. I'm going to nail this section, so I'm going to go between these two points here, but it's a much smaller section than this. You can't do all of the industry, like you can't do all of it in the acting industry. You got to find your niche, your little 10% of it, and then you've got to play to each end of that 10%. So you've got to develop versatility within that 10%, so that you are booked time and time again for the same kind of stuff. Everything I get booked for is very often, friendly, conversational corporate work, or upbeat, friendly, smiley, happy commercial work. So that'll be holidays, fast food, cars. Not sophisticated cars. Although I did do a Lexus advert once that was like, they made me go very sophisticated. I had to start saying, because I say last, because I'm northern. and I had to say, how long should a test drive last? Bit ridiculous. Whereas I just say it's my normal voice. How long does a test drive last? 10 minutes up the A road. The new hybrid from Lexus. Oh, I can't remember the actual advert. But it was a cracker. But yeah, sometimes you'll have to sort of occasionally you get to play against your type, but not often, guys. You're very often just employed for who you are. So we've got to figure out the niches that you guys fit into. And then your demo reel, like your show reel, has to absolutely reflect that. And we're going to talk about demo reels and what should be on it, because again, as I say, people mix it up and they put all accents on the demo reel. Pointless, totally pointless. You'll just confuse people. Your main voiceover reel needs to be commercials, documentaries, and corporates in your own accent. 100%. You don't need. In 15 years of voiceover, I've been asked to do probably 4 accents in 15 years. I had to do a Geordie accent for a B&Q advert once. I've done American quite a lot. I'd go as far as saying that's probably it. I was a Scottish dragon in a cartoon once. But it's honestly like so few and far between, because they'll just get someone who is that accent if they want it. I have a joke with my engineer at the moment that I work a lot with, Chris, where we get a job through and I'll go, Chris, is this voice 1 or voice 2? Because and they're both practically identical, but voice 2 is a little bit more upbeat than voice 1. I was once doing a job and I always bring like an upbeat tone to it, which is voice 2 really. Voice 1 is a bit more serious, but not that serious. And they had to stop me halfway through and they went, Ross, whoa, just 1 second, right? This is all good, it sounds great, but don't forget, we are talking about nuclear waste. I was like, bit too upbeat for nuclear waste. They're like, yeah, bit too upbeat for nuclear waste. But very often you'll just get employed time and time again for the same kind of voice. You don't need to do anything crazy, no acrobatics vocally. We just got to really get you in a solid place niche-wise of where you fit into the industry, and then you'll get work time and time again. I believe I'm very good at commercials and narration. I believe my voice would suit the luxury market, says Brendan. How can I find out if my beliefs are not misguided? Well, by playing your reel to people, basically. Do you know what? I mean, I might even... I don't know how we do it. I mean, there is probably a way to play some voiceover reels tomorrow. Should we play some voice reels out tomorrow night? I mean, I can play mine out dead easily because I've got it all set up, so I can you guys can hear my reel. I don't know. I can't promise you this, right? But if you remember right now, and you've got a voiceover reel that's been produced professionally, don't send me, some nonsense. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, like, not just recorded on your phone. It's got to be something that you would send to an agent, okay? Send it me, ross@actonthis.tv. I'll try and set it up so I can play. I can't promise you, but I might play a couple to the agents tomorrow night. But I can't promise you because I don't know 100% if that's the right thing to do or if technology wise we can do it. But the goal there, Brendan, would be to get people to listen to it, mate, and then give you some feedback on it. So if you've not been sending it out to people, that's definitely what you should do. But reels are like so important. They're probably more important than your show reel as an actor, because you get jobs just off your reel. I mean, you can get jobs just off your show reel. It's happened twice in my entire life, so it's very, very rare. But voiceover jobs, I've had hundreds off my reel, where you don't audition, you just get cast from your reel. Occasionally, a client will listen to your main reel and go, I really like it. We're 99% sure we want Ross, but could he just record 3 lines of the real thing at home just as a test? Doesn't have to be super high quality, just so we can hear what it would sound like on the real thing. And then they go yes or no. Yeah, either they like it or they made a mistake. Hopefully they did make a mistake. But yeah, your reel is so important. That's why it can't be rushed. You can't rush it, because this is the thing that's going to get you work and pay you thousands of pounds, or sit on your hard drive costing you whatever it costs to make it and never earn you a penny. So your reel's so important. Don't go to a one-stop shop company who doesn't know you, doesn't understand you, doesn't understand the market, and just wants to give you a carbon copy of a reel that they've made for 30 other actors over the last 3 weeks. Complete waste of money, no matter how cheap they're going to say they're going to do it for you. You should be sourcing your scripts, nobody else. You know yourself better than anyone, and if you can't source your own scripts, you need to work with an agent or a voiceover reel provider who, like, there are a few who are agents. The Voiceover Gallery even offer a real service where they will work with you to choose scripts that they know are going to sell you and are going to give you the highest chance of a return. Otherwise, it's pointless. I heard back in the day, I kept getting voice reels through from people, and I kept going, where's this Galaxy Ripple advert? I've heard this so many times. And it had just been the same company producing it, and they'd given everybody a Galaxy Ripple advert, and the same music bed underneath it, the same direction, so all the delivery sounded the same, and all 30 actors had the Ripple, Galaxy Ripple advert on their reel, and it's just like, it's just pointless. Just does you, all agencies go, God, I'm not listening to that again. It just doesn't do you any favors, so we'll cover that. I've been told I'm good at happy commercial work, says Saba. Saba, yeah, you're all upbeat and happy. Chris says, if I apply for commercial corporate gig, it's voiceover. If it's animation games, I use voice actor. Oh, right, okay, you're talking about the differences between, yeah. So if you are acting, yeah, you know, I mean, although all of it generally that's out of vision in terms of, for me, because a lot of people get this conflict with a voiceover agent and an acting agent, and when you've got both, you're like, oh my God, like, is there going to be a conflict here? With the way that I have it, the deal set up with my acting agent and voiceover agent is anything that is in vision, as in I am on film, always has to go through my acting agent. Anything where it's just my voice, which is voiceover. Voiceover is ultimately, you know, where we can hear you but we can't see you. Then that has to go through the Voiceover Gallery. And sometimes it's worked out in the past where they've swapped jobs. A presenting gig's coming at the Voiceover Gallery that I've given to Jane, and then a animation job is coming through Jane that I go into the Voiceover Gallery and we've kind of swapped. But that's generally how it works. So you sort of, there's a real line in terms of, right, am I in vision? Okay, it's Jane's. Am I not in vision? Right, it's the Voiceover Galleries. But yeah, animation and games, Chris, are definitely more acting than voiceover, you know, delivery. You know, like commercials and narration and documentaries and corporate work. What else is going on? Let's see if we've got any other questions. Just a quick question on that. Gravy Brain says, have accents on your reel. I would have a separate, I've always said have a separate. I don't think it's a good idea. I mean, everyone's going to have a different opinion. We'll ask the agents tomorrow night, but I would have a separate accent reel. So you would have your main reel, which is going to be corporate commercials and documentary. Losing it there. Corporate commercials and documentary, and then you would have an animation reel potentially, or an accent reel, where you would have lots of different voices. And a lot of people do that really creatively. I've heard accent reels and animation reels that have been done almost like, I heard one that was fantastic, that was a dinner party. And this guy was doing all the voices at this dinner table, you know, asking for things, pass me the salt, this, that, and the other, having conversations. And it was all, you know, playing out a really funny scene around a dinner table, but he played every single voice. And there was even some impressions in there, like Homer Simpson, Marge Simpson, you know, some like Barack Obama, you know, just to show that he, you know, could do loads of impressions as well. That works really well, but I would never include that on a reel where, you know, you're looking for commercial work, because you're just wasting the client's time listening to that. They need to hear what you sound delivering an advert. And there really are different styles to delivery. You've always got to think, you know, you can tell when an advert's an advert, can't you? It's got a certain pace and a certain tone and a musicality to it. Particularly when you're listing features in a thing, they tend to go, you know, buy the new whatever, you know, with this, and this. It's kind of, you know, it's very, it's quite formulaic in the delivery. It's almost like singing in a way, hitting the right notes in a commercial. But the more you do it, the more natural that, you know, that kind of comes. But it's just a fantastic industry to work in. So yeah, I mean, I would keep accents separate, Alex, but I'm not the voiceover god. I'm not saying, you know, the rules aren't there to be broken. There may be a decent reason to put an accent on your, you know, on your voiceover reel. I would say in the acting industry, never start your show reel with a commercial ever. But I've seen the odd occasion where someone has done when the commercial has been a bit more acting orientated, and it's been brilliant. So the rules can be broken if it's effective. I did an audiobook this year, says Bobby, never again. Bobby, they're long, man. Audiobooks are so long. And audiobooks, if people are recording themselves at home, you don't get paid by the hour like you do in the real world in voiceover. You get paid per hour of finished audio. It's very, very different. So if you ever see that on a brief, you're paid X amount per hour of finished audio. A lot of people go, oh, brilliant. Okay, that's per hour. No, it's not. It might take you 2.5 hours to record 1 hour of finished audio that has been edited, that all the gaps have been removed, all the breaths have been removed, all the mistakes have been removed. And you will probably, if you're recording at home, be the voiceover artist and the editor as well. A lot of projects require that. Amazon ACX, that whole network, where you can bid on audiobooks and say, I'll voice it for X amount, and you'll get the job. You often have to record and edit the footage, the actual audio. And you get paid per hour of finished audio, not per hour. So don't fall into that trap a lot of people do. They go, oh, this looks amazing, $75 an hour, yes. And they go, no, it's not as good because it took me 3 hours to do that 1 hour. So it's $25 an hour, big difference. So yeah, always, be aware of that. But we'll ask about the accents and stuff, with the guys tomorrow night. I just personally don't think it's a good idea because, like, starting your show reel as an actor in a different accent just kind of confuses people for who you are. And there's also, it's very different as well, recording a 10-second clip for your voice reel in Scottish, where you've had the script and you learn it again and again and again, and you nail it, and that little bit you keep stumbling over, you find a good take where you didn't, and then you put it into your reel, and then you win a job, which is a 4-hour corporate in Scottish. And that 10 seconds on your reel was flawless, but now you've got to do 4 hours, and there's no time for loads of mistakes. Like, if you are going to put accents on, you better be freaking flawless, because you will be asked a lot of times. Sometimes you will be asked to do 4-6 hour sessions if they're like super long corporate jobs. I did one of my first ever jobs in voiceover was for Comet. If you ever remember the electrical retailer Comet. Went bust because my voiceover skills clearly weren't good enough for them. A 4-hour job, my first job. It was only in my own accent, so it was absolutely fine. But if that was it, if I'd won that because they wanted it in my Geordie accent, and I could, say, or my Scottish accent, and I could say 1 or 2 phrases in Scottish and just get away with it on my voice reel, and then they were like, right, Ross, come and say these technical words about science and electrics and all this sort of stuff in your Scottish accent. Be a bit like, oh shit, I've kind of screwed up here. So yeah, be careful with that, definitely. Right, is there a list for voiceover kits similar to the one you did for self-tape? Astrid, there isn't yet, but I will do one. If you want to know about self-tape kit, guys, so what Astrid is referring to there is I put together a self-tape kit list, ultimately just my kit list that I use for self-tapes. I can vouch for it all. It's all top quality stuff. If you go to actonthis.tv/self-tape, again, put your name and email address in, you'll get it sent to you instantly. actonthis.tv/self-tape. I will do a kit list for voiceover, ultimately, and it will just be my setup. So I can't vouch for any equipment. I never do this. I'll never vouch for equipment I don't use or I've got no experience on. I'll never advertise an acting class I've never been to, or a showreel producer I've never used, or a voiceover thing I've never used, or whatever. If I'm ever putting lists out of stuff, it's actually my kit that I own, so I can tell you its quality. So I will do an Astrid at some point, definitely soon, for voiceover. Definitely. When he said usually only time you need accents for gaming reel, yeah, you know what, accents is definitely good for gaming, and occasionally, you know what accents are good for as well, and it'll be a custom demo that they get you to do. So they'll generally go, right, we're looking for a British guy who sounds a bit like Ross if they've chosen my reel, but we also need in this, it's often museum exhibits, where you go and you press a button in a museum, or you've got the headphones on and it's telling you about the stuff, and they act out like a little scene for you, or you hear a general in the army talking to his troops or something like that. They often want to save money by getting you to play multiple characters. So in that case, they'll go, right, well, we know he can do British, that's fine. Give him this character pack, tell him to record on there what he thinks he can do. And that might be like different British accents, like, just a bit more RP, a bit more Manc, a bit more sort of like just variations of your own voice. And then if you can do Scottish and you can throw a Geordie in or a Liverpool or something like that, stuff like that's pretty useful. But I would always have a separate reel. I'd have an accent reel, an animation reel, and then your main bread and butter reel, which is corporates, commercials, and documentaries. So it's there's no doubt about it. It's really good to be able to do accents. There's just a place on your reel to put them. Emily, have you got a question there? How do you gauge what's good and what's not very good? Number of audition wise for voiceover, i.e., how often do you audition for voiceover, for example? It's interesting because Emily, I've had an agent now for the best part of 1.5 decades, so I don't ever have to put myself forward for work or anything like that. So I'm not sending many auditions off. A lot of the time I'll get jobs just, you don't audition. They just choose you from your reel. And the thing about this industry as well is it's really loyal. So when you've worked in it a while and you get to know the studios and the production coordinators and you get to know the engineers and you do a good job, ultimately it's about time in this industry because studio time is really expensive. So if you can go in, I know if I'm booked for an hour and I've got a corporate job and I've booked for an hour, a lot of the time, if I'm working with Chris, the engineer I work with nearly every day, we know each other so well that I know we can nail that in 30 minutes. And what that does is that then frees up that 30 minutes for Chris to catch up on editing work that he might have had from the previous session or get something sorted for the session he's got next. So he likes working with me because like when I work with Ross, it's really efficient. We're not pissing about. We get the job done and I actually then save time. So I get paid for just half the time. So basically I still get the full fee and I've only done 30 minutes. Chris gets 30 minutes then to do more editing with and catch up, so his life's easier. So he will just get me back again and again and again. And you'll find studios do that where you're just in again and again and again because you work really well with the engineer. So that means you even have to audition even less because just word of mouth gets around and they go, yep, he'd be right for that. Here's his demo. Yep, that sounds good. Let's go. In terms of when I do get to audition, I reckon I probably book one in... don't know, it's tough really, probably 4 or 5 I'd say. I mean conservatively, if we go 1 in 5, something like that, it depends on the volume of auditions you get in though. Sometimes you can do 3 or 4 a week, but they're generally for much bigger jobs, so they will they'll be for jobs that pay like significantly more than like there's just the regular corporate jobs. If you get a regular corporate job with no usage, it's about 250 quid. If you get, that's before tax and commission though. So it's about 170 or something after tax and stuff. If you are doing a commercial, it can be thousands of pounds, like literally anywhere between, I don't know, 3, 5, 10, up to 125,000 I've seen for a bit of a golden handcuff deal for the year where you'll do multiple sessions for a company, but you'll get a lot of residuals for that. So you can get significant cash. It's not like regular though. Like you're not going to get £125,000 job multiple times a year. I've never had £125,000 job. That was just a close friend of mine happened to recently. But those jobs are out there. Lightning can strike and you can get one. But I reckon every sort of 1 in 4 jobs I audition for, I get, but I'll be getting multiple jobs. I've been very lucky recently, like a week where I'm not auditioning for anything. I'm just booked. So you just want to get to that point, and that only comes through just years of work. Ultimately, there's probably no way to fast track that. But yeah, don't get downhearted though if you're auditioning for 10 and you're only getting 1 in 10 or 1 in 15 or something like that. When I was first starting off, I was getting 1 job every 2 months. Now I'm getting 3 or 4 a week. I was going 8 weeks with 1. So like it just takes time to build up. Peter Dixon does a great class on how to mark up your voiceover script with inflection and beats. Peter Dixon's a great guy. We've had, for those who are members of AtsOnThis.tv as well, if you go again into your members area, well, if you just search here for Dixon, if I can spell it right. Hang on. Dixon. I've got two features with Peter Dixon. He's the voice of the X Factor. He's the Alexandra Buck, Rachel Adedeji. He's great. I did a podcast with him down in London, talking all about his career and working for the X Factor and all that sort of stuff. You can listen to that in your members area. And then there's also this one. He came on and did a 2-hour mastermind session with us where he talks us through, again, loads of stuff in voiceover, but training and his website, Gravy for the Brain. Members of AtsOnThis.tv. If you get to the very bottom of your members area as well, I am sharing my screen with you, aren't I? You are seeing this, yeah. This section here, save on voiceover training with Gravy for the Brain. AtsOnThis.tv members get 25% off. So if you are going to get a subscription to Gravy for the Brain and do online voiceover training with Peter, don't get it unless you get at least 25% off. So if you click into that, I'm not going to click into it because it'll show you the discount scheme and stuff. But if you're a member, bottom of your members area, that'll save you a tenner. Membership to AtsOnThis is only 24 quid a month. That gives you a tenner back. That's like you're getting your membership for like, what, £3 a week. Yeah, you redeem that voucher if you've not redeemed it already. So we've probably got time. It's gone 10 o'clock, hasn't it? Right, I'll take one more question and then we will wrap it up for this evening. Nicola could definitely maintain a Scottish accent for 4 hours because you are Scottish, Nicola. Definitely. Could you maintain a Manc accent for 4 hours or a Scouse accent? Let's have a look. Brendan's. Oh yeah, you know what, Brendan? Like, you make a point there about wearing the correct clothing for voiceover. It's really true, guys. Like, you know, you get people go. I took actors in at the voiceover booth, and they've got the crinkliest shirt on in the world, or they've got bangles on, and all this sort of stuff. And it's like the microphone will pick up all of that. You need to wear like cotton t-shirts, no jewelry, nothing, no rings, no nothing at all, no necklaces, no coins in your pocket. Make sure your mobile's off. Yeah, you don't want to go in a studio and wreck a great take because you're jangling all around or your mobile's going off. So it does sound like something really funny to think about, like, oh, what shirt am I going to wear for this voiceover? But it's something you need to think about, definitely. Ricky says he needs to upgrade his USB mic. Ricky, to this day, mate, I still use a Rode NT USB. This over here, just a USB mic, mate. And it's excellent. I've recorded voiceovers for international brands recently on this. It's about 150 quid. You don't need necessarily to go all in on a mic, which will have an audio interface and an XLR input. I don't bother. Honestly, my setup is so simple. A laptop, a USB cable, a Rode NT USB, a studio arm, which are these arms that they sit on, and a wardrobe, mate. 200 quid, probably 250 quid. Like, honestly, you'll earn it back on your first job. Like, you don't need mega bucks to do this, but you do need to be good. Ultimately, you've got to know how to do voiceover. So don't just think because you're an actor you can do it. I've taken great actors into the studio and they've been bad. You really need to train in voiceover. That's why Peter's stuff, Great for the Brain, really is decent. It's quality. If you want to train from home, very good. Very good service for the money, without a doubt. Right, I think I'm gonna have to call it a day. Let's have a look. Is there any other questions that are quick that I can answer here? I've got a new XLR mic, says Nick. Well, Nick's gone all in. Yeah, absolutely, Nick. Good on you. I do a real hard German accent reel, Sandra. Yeah, and a soft German accent reel. Yeah, because German can be quite a harsh language, can't it? Even like, when you, I think, if you're saying I love you, like, sounds quite, it's not like Spanish or French. English isn't the same either, it doesn't sound that great, but like, ich liebe dich, kind of like, it's like, all right, what are you kicking off about? I'm just saying I love you. So yeah, I think German can kind of go either way, and there's a place for all of it in the foreign dubbing we were talking about before. I think to the English ear, you'd sound really versatile just having a stronger accent, a hard German accent, and then a softer German accent. To us would probably sound like two different people. You should definitely look at working in voiceover, Sandra. Honestly, your skills with language, you'll just work. Honestly, I'd be surprised if they've got lots of German voices on the books at the Voiceover Gallery. They're going to have some because they do a lot of foreign dubbing, but I don't think they're going to have loads. You could definitely, you might even end up on their database of foreign voices tomorrow night. I'll just go, look, anyone in here who can speak languages, sign them up. Let's see what else is going on. I have a very faint electrical buzz on playback. For forum searches tells me it's the USB connection. Have you got a really cheap USB cable, Ricky? That you need to get one that's really well insulated, mate, gold plated at the ends, and really well insulated. And you shouldn't get that. You can take out electrical hum in post-production as well. There's a lot of plugins that will do that if it's very faint. You can just get adaptive noise correction plugins that will do that. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would have a look if it's something in the room. Can you hear anything to the naked ear, or is it definitely coming from the microphone? Or it could just be, it could be the mic maybe. I don't know. Depending on the quality of the mic and what it is. Right, I'm going to love you and leave you guys. This has been joyous, though. Oh, there's so much stuff that I've missed. I'm so sorry. Like, it's 10:10, though. Most people are going to be going to bed. But join us tomorrow night. If you want to really dive deep on voiceover, come and get involved. ActsOnThis.tv/trial. If you've not got a trial, get one now. You'll get access for 7 full days, no strings attached. If you want to cancel whenever. If you don't, stay for the party. We get, the best people in the industry on every week: agents, casting directors, writers, producers, directors. Ultimately, stay, join us for a year. Like, that's what I say, everybody. Give 2021, try ActsOnThis.tv out for a year. Let it change your career, because it just freaking will. 100%. You will have your hand held every single week for 52 weeks well, 50 weeks, because we have 2 weeks off at Christmas, just to be transparent. 50 weeks, you will have a top industry professional live in your home. You don't have to go anywhere, on Zoom, 50 times a year, telling you exactly what you need to do to push your career forward. If you do not think you can progress further with that knowledge, just call it a day. I don't know. It's a no-brainer. It's just such a no-brainer. Come and get involved at least for 7 days. Try it out. actonthis.tv/trial. Look forward to tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. It's going to be freaking great. Should I play the trailer out again so you can see Roddy and Katie? And they're going to have had a mulled wine as well. It's Christmas. So they're going to be, suitably lubricated to, sort of like be open to signing you up on the spot. I'll try and get some people representation tomorrow night. I can't promise you anything though. But I will see you tomorrow. I would bloody love that 12-month membership from the 12 days giveaway. Oh God, I can't believe I've not shown you this. Quickly, for those who are still here, I've done a 12-day giveaway on Twitter today. Why haven't I not shown you this? Twitter.com/@actonthisTV, right? Just search for @actonthisTV on Twitter. Look at this. Actors want 650 quid worth of prizes. I'm doing 12 days of Christmas giveaway from the 12th of December, but you can enter it now. Go over to the Twitter now. All you've got to do is retweet this video and then tag friends in it, basically. Tag actors in it. The more people you tag in the replies to help me spread the awareness of actonthis.tv, the more chances you've got of winning a prize. We've got 1 month memberships, 6 month memberships, 12 month memberships. We've got Amazon gift cards, Netflix gift cards, one-to-ones with casting directors. We've got books, and that's on this mug. Amazing. Money can't even buy it. A bottle of champagne, a Smart Lav, a Rode Smart Lav Plus for your self-tapes, give you awesome quality audio for your self-tapes. Go and get involved. We've also got the same competition on Instagram. So if you do the same things on Instagram, like the post, share it to your story, and tag people in the comments, you get twice as much chance of winning. But I'm going to draw someone every single day from the 12th of December. So go and watch that video if you're not watched it already. Retweet it, follow Acts on This TV, and tag people. And I'm going to do like a live. I think I'll do like a live announcement every day. Maybe like 8 p.m. every night or something like that, going going to draw the winner. And you know what? It'll be completely fair. Like, you might even win twice. Not even, I'm literally just going to draw a number at random off a Google number generator. And you never know. If you've made multiple posts tagging multiple people, you could win more than one time. I'll just make that a possibility for people. Go and get involved with that as well. I forgot about that. But yeah, Nick, if you win it, if anyone's a current member and you win the membership, then obviously we'll just cancel your payments for a year, or for 6 months or whatever. So you can still win the membership even if you've got a membership. It just means you save, obviously you save money. But I will, I'll be looking forward to that. I'll be announcing the winners every night, probably 7 or 8 p.m. or after the 12th of December. Right, I'm going to play the Voiceover Gallery trailer again. Come and get involved. I want to see you there. We're going to have a great time tomorrow night. And then the week after, our last kind of call with a guest is going to be the following Thursday. The following Tuesday will be our Christmas cocktails and conversation evening for premium members only. That's on the 22nd. And then it'll be bloody Christmas, guys. So, only a few weeks left, but come and get involved. Finish 2020 strong, and let's crush 2021. All right, lots of love. Until next time, bye for now. Calling all actors looking to work in voiceover, looking to land a voiceover agent. Listen up, because you are not going to want to miss this, right? This is your invite to an incredible actonthis.tv live mastermind session, this time taking place on Tuesday, the 8th of December at 7:30 p.m. with this amazing crew here, the agents from, in my opinion, the best voiceover agency on earth, the Voiceover Gallery. Katie, Roddy, welcome. Thanks so much for doing this. What are we going to be talking about on Tuesday?
So we're going to talk a little bit about the do's and don'ts on your voice reels, what agents love to hear, what agents don't love to hear, how to approach agencies, just general voiceover gallery fun.
Voiceover Gallery fun. Roddy, what about you?
So I will be here to cover everything that Katie is covering, but also I am going to be giving you a bit of an overview of how to get into the world of foreign voiceover for those of you that speak another language or come from another country.
Nice, because we've got so many. We've got such diverse, community within the Acts on This community. Diverse people from all around the world. Loads of diversity. But also, we're going to be joined maybe by Jade as well, who is another agent in the office as well. Actors, if you want to get involved with this, you want to literally jump on camera, talk to Katie, talk to Roddy, potentially Jade, me, maybe. Get yourself over to actonthis.tv/live for full details of how you can get involved with this and all future webinars as well. And guys, I ask everyone this question. Little bit of pressure on you now. Why don't they want to miss it?
Probably because it's about an hour and a half after we finish work. We might be a bit drunk. We might even sign you there and then, the lot of you. Who knows?
Nice.
It's probably the best time after work to get some real honesty out of us when we've had a glass of wine. So don't want to miss it.
Excellent. Come and have a glass of wine. actonthis.tv/live.